So guys, all I need for this video is 5 clips. That's all I need. It's going to be a very short, very clean, very simple video. Short, sweet and simple. So I'm meeting up with Kieran, who's in the M1 over there, or 1M. What's up? What are you saying? You alright? I keep calling it the M1.
Called the 1M, reason being is BMW already made a supercar called the M1, so they couldn't give the same title to this car.
And we've taken some photos already.
Looks beautiful.
You're gonna get these printed up on your wall, like the other ones?
Definitely.
So we'll be using CapCut for this video. It's going to be shot on the phone and it's going to be edited on the phone as well. So really quick turnaround, minimal color grading unlike the Sony over there. I am using the iPhone 14 Pro Max, but you can get similar results on the 13 and even the 12, any of the iPhones and a lot of the Samsungs as well. I've used the Note 10 a lot in the past as well, and I know the Samsung really holds up as well with this quality. So it doesn't really matter what smartphone you've got, you can get the exact same results or similar. Let's get into the first shots. All I need is 5 clips. I'm going to clip them together in CapCut, add a bit of music from Instagram, and that's it. You've got your reel in pretty much 20 minutes. I think I can do this. Okay, so the first shot is the most important shot you want, especially for Instagram Reels, because in the first 5 seconds you really want to grab their attention. You don't want them to scroll past, you want them to obviously engage on your videos. Yeah, it looks like someone just parked in the back of our shot. Yeah, so talking about the settings, so I've set it to 4K 25 frames per second, and I've set for this first shot I'm actually going to use ×1. Now one thing I really like to do to get those cinematic shots is make good use of the different focal lengths. You know, a lot of these cameras nowadays come with 3 lenses. I'd say make the use of that. For this first shot, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start it on an angle. I'm going to start it quite wide so I'll get the car in and the whole environment in, and I'm going to push into it, and whilst I'm pushing in I'm going to twist it. So I'm just getting Kieran to move the car a bit so we're not getting the other car in the background. So if you move it a bit more this way, we've got a clean background, no distractions, and that looks good right there. So to get smooth shots whilst you're moving, you don't want your footsteps to like shake the camera. So what I like to do is bend my knees a bit, get a bit low, and kind of do, I call it the ninja walk. So if you're walking ninja style and you hold the camera quite steady, you're going to get really smooth shots. If you walk normally whilst you're recording, you're going to get a lot of bounce, and that's going to create a lot of shake with your camera. So let's try that one more time. Just watch how I move my knees. And for this clip I only need it to be about 3 to 5 seconds, because once I put 5 3-second videos together, that's already 15 seconds. So you've got your 15-second Instagram reel right there. So they don't need to be super long. 3 seconds is enough. So now that I've got the establishing shot, now I can get more close-up shots of it. So the first clip is to show off what setting we're in, what car we've got. You've seen everything. Now we're going to get close-up. So picking a few details on the car, we're going to show the wheels, maybe some front, maybe something at the back. Again, using the different focal lens, because I am zooming in, I don't need such a wide shot anymore, so I'm going to actually use the ×2 this time, so I'm getting a lot tighter shot. So I'm using a good use of the different lenses there. What do you think of that shot?
Very nice. Ooh, very nice.
Kieran likes it. I'm going to ask Kieran for this one, what do you think I should focus on first? Because obviously the wheels captured me straight away. But you obviously own the car, you know what you like about the car. What is it that you really want me to focus on?
I would say, obviously, the colour is quite unique. The interior, back to basics with BMW. They're obviously showcasing the fact that it is one of 450 and it has been plaqued on the inside.
So you want to get the plaque in?
Yeah, the plaque is obviously the statement
I think
of...
the third shot would be a good idea to get that plaque in, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have a cloth? Managed to wipe it down a bit.
Yeah.
So for the interior shot, I've got obviously that plaque, which was a close-up. I also want to get a wide shot, and that's where I can make good use of a wide angle camera. So I can get everything in the front of the car in. So I'll show you how that comes out. Okay, having a look at that, I wasn't really feeling the wide on that, so I'm going to actually tighten back into the 1. However, I might give the cinematic mode a try as well. Alright, so for this final shot, I'm going to get the back of the car. I'm going to use the ×3, so this is really zoomed in, and I'm going to focus on just the back half of the car, so we get the number plate in, and maybe the back wheels as well. And I am using cinematic mode here, so we're going to get a really nice bokeh blare in the background. And don't be afraid to take more than one shot. Don't do one and be alright with it. If you think, okay, I could do that slightly better, even if there's a bit of a shake, you want to do it again. So do it a second time, do it a third time, do it a fourth time. Do it until you get it right. So before we open up CapCut, we're going to find an audio. Now, there's actually an app called Repost Plus. There's quite a few other apps out there as well. And there's also a website called iGram that I use quite a bit, where you can drop in a link and it downloads a video. But for this video, I'm not going to use this because I don't want to get copyright strike on this video, because on YouTube you can't use it. But for Instagram, using trending sounds is perfectly fine, as long as you link the original audio back in when you post it. So I'm going to open up CapCut here. Click new project, and I'm going to just find all the clips that I want. So I'm just going to quickly view the ones that I want. Because I just recorded this video, I know exactly where I want. So it's that video there. You can click at the top. You see how the number 1 appears. That means that's going to be the first one in the timeline. So we want to put it in order. You can shuffle around the order later, but in CapCut you will realize it is hard to like move things around sometimes, especially on a small phone screen. So it's easier just to try getting the order right once you put it into the app. So I've got that as my first video. The second video was of the wheel, so that's that one there. So click number 2. I can even just click over there in the corner. The third one is that one there. The fourth one was this one, I believe. Yep. And then the final 5th one would be the last video I took, which was that one. So yep, I can click number 5 there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips loaded up. Click add in the bottom, and there you go. You can see how it's added up all these videos, and it's come up to 26 seconds. Now for real, you do want it to be between 7 and 15 seconds. That is like the sweet spot. Yeah, so for this video I'm using Artlist because I'm allowed to use that on YouTube. But on Instagram, obviously I can use the Instagram sounds. But what I try to find in music is something with a nicer drop. So about 3 seconds of just something a bit mellow, and then a drop, and then that's when the beat drops. And the reason why I do that is for the first 3 seconds I can use that establishing shot that I took first. I can cut it exactly on the drop and then move on to the closer shots, and that kind of just makes the video a bit more dramatic. I'll have to go into my files and find the song that I've downloaded. Click on that, click on CapCut, and click import audio to CapCut. And what that'll do is that'll actually drop that audio file that I've just downloaded. But if you've downloaded the video from Instagram, what you want to click on extracted, and you can actually click on one of these videos, and it says import sound audio at the bottom. You want to click that, and what they'll actually do is they'll actually take the audio from that video. So download it, import the sound, and it will add the sound in at the bottom on the timeline. So the way CapCut works is you have a timeline at the top with your videos, and then you have the sound that I've selected there, and then you have the sound at the bottom, which is that bit there. So you've got 2 different layers. Now you can actually add more layers. You can add text layers on top of that. You can add other layers, and that's what I quite like about CapCut is it works similar to a professional program, a bit like Premiere Pro, where you have multiple layers. You can stack videos on top of other videos and kind of create cool effects. But for this one, we're just going to be using one layer. First thing I want to do actually is click mute there. So that actually turns off the audio for all the top videos. You're gonna hear like there was no talking, but there was like you might hear birds or people in the background talking, and just general white noise that you don't want. You just want it to be completely clean, silent, and you just want the music playing. So if you start playing that, I can actually hear. So this is the mellow part of the song, And let's skip to, that's after the drop. So the drop is about here somewhere. No, let's see. So the drop is actually there, where you hear that. So what I want to do, let's actually split that and delete that first half. And let's move the audio all the way to the left. Now let's see how that plays from there. So the drop happens around 6 seconds, which is still a bit too long. I want to half that to about 3 seconds. So let's chop off quite a bit more. Let's move it across. Let's just see where that sits now. That's alright. Let's add a bit more, just so that, so this is the part where you kind of want to fine tune things. So let's fine tune the audio before we get into the video editing and just get the beat to drop exactly where it feels natural. So the beat happens about 4 seconds in, which is quite good. So if I stop the video exactly where that beat happens and I select the top video, I can bring that down. So that actually should now cut exactly where the beat is, and you'll be able to see straight away how much of an impact that beat and that drop happens to the video that I've just added. There you go. So yeah, it was just like that wide establishing shot, and then the beat drops and you get a close-up of the wheel. Now the wheel actually did a bit of shaky business over here. If we play that. So I kind of want this last bit here. That's the bit that I want, that's quite good. So let's split that and delete the first half, and CapCut's actually going to move it automatically to the left. And let's see how that plays now. So there was another beat there, I don't know if you hear it, so the beat drops, and then there's another kind of beat somewhere that something kind of kicks, and you want it to also kind of each cut going forward, so not just the first cut you want to match up with the audio, but you kind of want to match up the rest of the video and the cuts with the audio as well. So now that second shot should also now cut with the beat. Perfect. That was actually really good. Again, let's chop this video down. That one actually cut and beat perfectly. I don't even need to adjust that one. So that's the one of the badge. However, I kind of want to do an effect on this video because I want to focus on the badge there, but it's quite wide. I didn't use a gimbal, I shot this all by freehand. So some of my shots are going to come a bit shaky. So what I did was I actually took that shot a bit further back, and then what I can do later is in post, in editing, I can actually zoom in. But I'm going to do this using keyframes. At the beginning of the video, there we go, and add a keyframe. So this little diamond here is a keyframe. So I've clicked one, and what that's going to do is it's going to lock in the settings. So right now I'm going to change the size of the video. But at the beginning I want it to start off wide, and then I want it to zoom in near the end. So what I can do is add another keyframe and zoom in like that. And what that's going to do, if you see, you can see how at the beginning it's kind of a wide shot and it slowly zooms in because I've added a keyframe at the beginning. That's a wide shot. I've added a keyframe at the end, which is a close-up shot. And as the video plays from one keyframe to another keyframe, it's going to gradually change to what I've set the first one and the second one, if you understand what I mean. There's still a bit of shake on that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to test something. This doesn't always work, and it's not a solution that I like to use a lot, but sometimes it works, and when it does work, it works well. And that is stabilize. So let's see, I'm going to add minimal cropping, and let's see if that actually fixes the shake. That did a decent job. That actually did a decent job there. Let's see if I can add any more stabilization. So recommended, let's see how much that does. Sometimes the stabilization can make things look really weird, that's when I don't want to use it. That worked brilliantly. So now looking at this shot here, let's just continue chopping up this video. Okay, so that one there, that cut actually happened quite close to where I want it to be. So let's just fine tune it in. So I'm going to zoom in, find out exactly where the beat's going to drop. So it was, I think it was just earlier. So let's move that in a bit and just see how that looks. And I'm actually going to end the video there. So that's a 13-second video. So like I said at the beginning, the reels want to be anywhere between 7 and 15. So 13 sits in that gap pretty well. Again, okay, let's fine tune this last video. So let's bring that in a bit there. And let's end it there. And that. Now here's another thing about CapCut that you want to remember is right at the end, it's going to have this CapCut logo. Now you can actually click on that last video there and actually click delete, and look at that, it's gone. So let's watch that back now, and just with very minimal, simple editing. That took me 11 minutes, but let's see how that came out. So for our Instagram reel, I feel like that would do perfectly. Now the last thing I want to do now is fine tune the colouring. It was a grey day, wasn't looking great. I'm going to use CapCut's built-in LUTs or filters, which can be found at the bottom here, filters, and let's just test them out. Now there are some pro ones that look really good, so if you do want to buy the pro ones, you can buy them and use them instead, but I'm going to use the free ones right now. CapCut is a free app, so if you're trying to do this on a budget, and that one looks already, makes it pop, so from there to there, but you can fine tune again how strong it is, so I can set that to about 50 for example, and see how that looks. Now the thing about this is it's going to only apply it to one clip, so I'm going to apply it to all of them so that it plays along all of them, and let's just see how that looks. I'm going to try a few other ones. Black and white, no. Inception doesn't look that good. Black and gold look really nice, but that is a pro one. But we can preview it. Now one thing I'm going to do is actually, I don't like this video here because near the end it goes a bit weird. So I'm actually going to crop that down and actually have to crop that back out again. And let's just see if that plays well. Perfect. That looks a lot better. So let's try finding a free. Okay, that one there, Black Panther. It does make the car look a bit of a weird colour though, and I know Kieran's going to be like, my car's not got that colour, it's a very specific orange, so for that reason I'm actually going to try finding another. Grey looks pretty good. Okay, now that one as well. That one actually makes the car orange look amazing. Might be a bit strong, so let's tone that down. Has a bit of blue into the sky as well, so I like that. I think 60 looks like a sweet spot there. Now that I'm happy with the colour grading, I'm just going to fix some of the colour grade. This is just me being a bit more picky now. We could literally finish it off like that, but I find some of the shots are a bit dark. So I can do that by going over to adjust and clicking on brightness, see what works. So I like the brightness there. It's the, could actually add a bit of vignette there. That actually pulls in the focus a bit more on the car, just a tiny bit. And we can adjust the shadows because I feel like the highlights are kind of exactly where I want them to be. I don't want it to go too dark or too bright, but I feel like the shadows, you can see how the orange light really pops just by opening the shadows up a bit. And I can try doing something similar to this one, so let's open up the shadows a bit and add a bit of vignette. Focus a bit more on the wheels. Let's see what the stabilizer, because this shot here is a bit shaky as well. Not too shaky, but let's just see what the stabilization does. You might make it really smooth. I like that. I like that a lot. This shot here doesn't have too much orange in it, so let's see what we can do about that. Try making this one a bit pop. I'm going to actually drop the shadows a bit so that it creates more of a contrasty look. Again, add some vignette. I can actually add quite a lot of vignette on this one. Okay, so now that it's time to export the video, you want to hit this button in the top right corner, but before you hit that, you want to hit the one on the left. By default, it is on 1080. Let's drop it to 4K, because remember, the video was shot in 4K and it was shot in 25 as well. So you want to make sure that's not set on 30, you want to make sure that's set on 25. And this video was also shot in HDR, so you want to make sure the HDR is turned on. You can convert it into SDR, and I recommend that for Android phones. If it doesn't support HDR, I know some do, but if your phone supports HDR and you can upload to Instagram in HDR, you want to keep that turned on. If not, if you're going to do anything else with the video, if you're going to be sending that video across, emailing it to someone, or putting it, sending it to a laptop to do something, or using it for anything else apart from Instagram, then you want to turn HDR off, because it could mess with the colors if the screen or device that you're using somewhere else isn't HDR compatible. So once those settings are set up, you want to hit then the little arrow in the top right corner, and it's going to export that video. One thing I like about CapCut is the exporting times are really good. So as you can see there, that took, I don't know how long that was, but it was about 10 seconds I think. Click done and you're all done. Now let's go into the Photos app and let's see how that video came out. Guys, that video came out amazing. Now obviously on your first try or your second try you might not get used to it. This is probably my 100th video that I've edited on CapCut. I've got a lot of experience on this app, so that's why I can do this quite quickly. So I'd say if you want to get used to the app, just use it more. If the first video that you do only has 3 clips, do it with 3 clips, then move on to 4, then move on to 5. I've done videos where I've got loads of clips. Interesting fact, actually, this entire vlog was actually shot on CapCut as well, and a lot of the bits were either shot from my Sony and my phone, merging it all together. CapCut is actually available for free on the laptop as well, so that's what I've done. I've got it on my laptop and I'll be editing this vlog on there as well. So if you want to get into editing, CapCut is a really good app to start learning, especially for beginners and even for pros. Like, I use it all the time as well. If you like this video, give it a subscribe, really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, let me say